What is up, YouTube people? Happy Wednesday. So this is a response video to I think that's what he calls himself now, the Uncle Lou. I just watched his video, and the only reason I'm making a response to this is because he mentioned me in the video in particular. He didn't mention me by name, but he was talking about me, and I want to clear some things up. First of all, unfortunately for all of you, we're not arguing over this. We have a difference of opinion, and honestly, the video that I posted earlier today, this morning, I probably did a poor job of explaining exactly where I stand on this. And then, of course, the issue is in comment sections on YouTube. That's a terrible way to communicate because it's just one or two sentences here or there and things get misconstrued. And again, I'm not blaming him at all. Maybe I did a poor job of explaining my position on this. And there's some things I agree with him on this, and there's some things that I definitely don't agree on him with this. The point of the video that I made earlier was that contracts are broken every day. I think what he took out of what I was saying, based on the comments that he left and the comments that I gave back to him, was that I think that Clemson's just going to get out of the grant of rights contract scot-free and move on to some other conference without having to pay anything. That is definitely not what I meant. And again, I probably did a poor job of explaining that because that wasn't even really what I was trying to say in the video. But anyway, I do think I agree with him here. I do think that what Clemson is doing in particular, I can't speak so much about Florida State. They have a different type of lawsuit that's way more complicated. Clemson's lawsuit is more focused on the TV deal and all of that. I don't know about Florida State, but I do think what Clemson's doing is trying to get out of the ACC for the least amount of money possible. So I agree with him on that. What that number is, I don't know. I don't know if it's 50 million. I don't know if it's 20 million. I don't know if it's 200 million. But I do know the way that it reads right now. If they want out next year or the year after that or the year after that, you're talking in the hundreds of millions of dollars, which Clemson does not have, and which most likely any conference that wants to absorb Clemson into their conference is most likely not going to be willing to pay that amount for Clemson to bring them in. All right, so there's that. The other part of this is when he talks about that Clemson and Florida State look bad in this, they look like a child who's not getting their way. I completely disagree with that, 110%. And here's the reason why. College football and college sports in general in these universities, they are businesses. If companies weren't trying to constantly get out of contracts that they agreed to, my wife wouldn't have a job. Well, she'd probably still have a job, but it wouldn't be the job that she has. And countless other lawyers around the country as well. Things change. They signed the deal in 2013, and they signed it again in 2016. Should they have signed those contracts? No, probably not. They were the best deal on the table at that time. Things have changed. I don't know if you've really noticed, but things have changed around the landscape of college football and college sports in general drastically since 2016. And so with those changes, the job of the people who are running Clemson University and their athletic department as a whole is to do what's best for the university right now. Not what was best for the university in 2013 and 2016. So I don't think they're running around acting like children. They're protecting their own interests and their future interests. And I think that any school or university that has plans in the future to be successful, especially in football, would do the same thing. And also, before I go, here's the last thing I'll say. Florida State was the first to do this. Clemson is now the second to do this. But over the next 6 to 8 months, probably next 12 months, you're going to see at least 3 or 4 more schools in the ACC do exactly the same thing. You can call it what you want. You can call it acting like a child if you want. I call it doing business. Business is not for the faint of heart. And just to bend over and take it because because somebody else made a bad decision in 2013 and 2016 doesn't mean you don't have to try to right the ship now in the best interest of the university. That's the way I stand on it. And to be completely fair and honest, I hope they do get out. So there is that. I'm not pretending as if I'm all high and mighty, standing on my laurels and all that. I want them to get out. So, and also, Clemson is not a person. If a person sits down, an individual sits down and signs a contract in their own interest as a human, as an individual person, that's different than somebody who works for a university making decisions, and then they no longer work there, and now what? You're just stuck with the previous guy's terrible decisions till 2036? That's not the way that business works. It just doesn't work that way. That's never been the way it worked, and it will never be the way it works. So I applaud Clemson for at least trying to do whatever that they can do to minimize the damage that was done in 2013 and 2016. And hopefully they succeed at it. I don't even, again, I'm not pretending to know whether or not they will or not. For all I know, they'll lose the lawsuit and they're stuck in the ACC until they can afford to buy their way out. I have no idea, and I'm not pretending to know. I'm not giving dates. I'm not saying they're going to be out in 2 years, next year, 2026. I have no clue, and nobody else does either. Thank you. Have a great day.